Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Today we're going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball games and look ahead to today's game in each sport. My latest NFL mock draft, it's my sixth one. The latest news and notes. We'll recap yesterday's Super 8 episode of The Masked Singer and my best bet of the day. We're going to start in the NBA. We will go over what was a busy window from last night, and we will look ahead to what is a solid window for tonight, but not as busy. Cavs over the Bulls, 121-105. The Cavs are 21-37. Chicago, 24-34. Colin Sexton at 30, and Larry Markkinen had 16. Pacers over the Thunder, 122-116. Indiana, 27-31. OKC, 20-39. Malcolm Brogdon had 29 points and 15 boards. Darius Bazley, 26 for OKC. Suns over the Pacers, the 76ers, 116-113. Philly drops to 39-19. Phoenix improves to 42-16. Chris Paul does what Chris Paul always does. 28 points and 8 assists. Joel Embiid, 38 points, 17 boards, and 4 assists. He single-handedly kept Philly in that game. Wizards over the Warriors, 118-114. The Wizards are 25-33. The Warriors, 29-30. Bradley Beal, big win for Washington, too. 29 points for the Wizards. And Kelly Oubre had 24-9 for Golden State. Raptors over the Nets, 114-103. Toronto is 25-34. Brooklyn, 39-20. Pascal Siakam had 27 points, 9 boards, and 6 assists. Kyrie Irving, 28 points and 8 assists. Knicks over the Hawks, 137-127. In overtime, a great win for the Knicks to get them into the 4th seed. In the East, 8 straight wins, 33-27 on the year. Atlanta, 32-27. Julius Randle had 40 points and 6 assists. Clint Capella, 25 points and 22 boards. Jazz over the Rockets, 112-89. The Rockets dropped an abysmal 15-44. The Jazz go to 44-15. Jordan Clarkson had 22 points for the Jazz, and John Wall had 21 and 6 assists for the Rockets. Mavericks over the Pistons, 127-117. Dallas, 31-26. Detroit, 18-41. Luka Doncic, 30 points, 10 boards, 9 assists. Jeremy Grant had 26 for Detroit. Heat over the Spurs, 107-87. The Heat, 31-28. San Antonio, 28-29. Bam Adebayo had 23 points and 8 assists for the Heat, and DeMar DeRozan had 15 for San Antonio. Clippers over the Grizzlies, 117-115. The Clippers are 42-19. Memphis, 29-28. Luke Kennard led them in scoring with 28 points, and John Morant had 22 and 4 assists for Memphis. Nuggets over the Trailblazers, 106-105. Denver, 38-20. Portland, 32-26. Nikola Jokic, 25 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists. Damian Lillard, 22 points to lead Portland. Kings over the Timberwolves, 128-125. Sacramento, 24-35. Minnesota, 16-44. De'Aaron Fox had 30 points and 7 assists. Karl Anthony Towns had 26 to lead Minnesota. All right, 6 games tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Suns and the Celtics. This game is not on national TV because of the magnitude of tonight's 7 o'clock game, although the game at 7 o'clock should have been at 9:30, and this game should have been on at 7. It's the Suns and the Bucks. The Suns and the Celtics. I think this game should be on national TV over the 9:30 game. But that's because of how good the Suns have been, not because of how one star player's injury is out, or injured player is out, and potentially coming back tonight, and the other has been an underachiever this year. We'll get to that game in a moment. So Suns-Celtics. Great game from TD Garden. My line is Suns by 7.5, total 223. Meanwhile, FanDuel has this at Phoenix by 5.5. I'm laying the 5.5 with the Suns. It's right at the number where I want to lay the points. So I'm going to take the Suns minus the points. Pelicans Magic. I'm at Pelicans 11.5 total to 23. Meanwhile, it's 7.5. I don't have a total yet. I'm laying the 7.5 with the Pelicans. Orlando's given up. TNT 7 o'clock. The 76ers and the Bucks. I'm at Philly 2 total to 27. Meanwhile, it's Milwaukee 6. We don't have a total yet. This line is trying to tell you that Ben Simmons probably is not playing in this game. But if that's the case, if one of them are out, then obviously changes things. I'm taking the Sixers plus the 6 at minus 114 and 2-1 the win on the money line. 8:30 the Pistons and the Spurs. I'm at San Antonio 11 total to 20.5. Meanwhile, it's 8. I'm laying 8 with the Spurs. They need this game. 9 o'clock the Hornets and the Bulls. I'm at Chicago by a half total to 23.5. Meanwhile, it's Chicago by 2.5. No total yet. I'm going to take the Hornets in the 2.5. I don't know if they'll win. I know they're missing their guys. And the Bulls are also missing Levine. Taking Charlotte in the points. But maybe the Bulls win by 1. In 9:30 TNT, the Lakers and the Mavs. This game should not be on TNT. It should be Suns Celtics at 7 and 76ers Bucks at 9:30. But they put this game on there because it's the Lakers and it's because it's Luka and the Mavs. So it's two big market teams. My projections, Dallas 3.5 total to 19. Meanwhile, it's Dallas by 2. And if the total is 221 or higher, I'm betting the under. And if it's 217 or lower, I'm betting the over. All right, now we'll move on to the NHL. We will go over the games from last night and look ahead to what should be a busy window for tonight. Only 4 games last night in the National Hockey League. Blackhawks over the Predators 5-4 in overtime on a game winner by Brandon Hagel. Chicago with the big win, 22-20-5 overall. Nashville 25-21-2. The number 3 started the game with a goal and assist. Mikael Granlund, the number 2, started the game with 36 saves on 32 shots. Malcolm Subban, and the number 1 started the game with the overtime winning goal and 2 assists. Brandon Hagel. Wild over the Coyotes 4-1. And no, the over did not hit. Minnesota 29-13-3. Arizona 20-22-5. The number 3 started the game with the goal, Christian Dvorak. Number 2 started the game with the goal, Kevin Fiala. And the number 1 started the game with 39 saves on 40 shots, Cam Talbot. Golden Knights over the Sharks 5-2. Vegas is 33-11-2. San Jose 18-23-5. The number 3 started the game with an assist, Max Pacioretty. The number 2 started the game with 2 assists, Shea Theodore. And the number 1 started the game with 2 goals and 2 assists, Jonathan Marchessault. Canadians over the Oilers 4-3. Montreal 20-15-9. Edmonton 27-16-2. The number 3 started game, didn't have a point, just played well. Shea Weber. Number 2 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Connor McDavid. And the number 1 started game with 2 goals, Josh Anderson. Big window for tonight, 7 o'clock. The Flyers and the Rangers, a game that the New York Rangers absolutely have to have. The Rangers are minus 174, Phillies plus 146, over under 6.5, overs plus 102, unders minus 104. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 192, Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 190 or plus 158. These lines tell you the downfall of the Philadelphia Flyers. But my pick for this game is going to go Rangers in regulation at minus 110. They've been playing much better than Philly. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Rangers. I would consider the puck line as well. But I feel better with the puck line, or I'm sorry, the regulation line at minus 110 for the New York Rangers. Maple Leafs Jets. Toronto's minus 138, Winnipeg's plus 118, over under 5.5. Overs minus 140, unders plus 112. Leafs minus 1.5 is plus 176. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 215. I like Jets and under here. I don't know where to go though. But I'm going to go with the Jets plus 118 on the money line here. The Jets have played well against the Maple Leafs this year, and they've been good as a dog. So I'm taking the Jets plus 118 at home against the Maple Leafs. The Bruins and the Sabres. The Bruins minus 330. The Sabres plus 265. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Boston minus 1.5 is minus 118. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 102. Again, I'm going to go with the Sabres and the puck and a half and minus 102. They've been more competitive lately. I know Boston's played better with Taylor Hall in the lineup, but I can see Buffalo keeping this a game. So give me Buffalo plus 1.5 at minus 102. The Capitals and the Islanders, big game in the Metro Division, playing for first place. Islanders minus 126. The Caps to plus 108. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Capitals plus 1.5 is minus 255. Islanders minus 1.5 is plus 205. Both of these teams are really good defensively and are solid in net, depending on who's in net. So I'm going to go under 5.5 at minus 106. The Blue Jackets and the Lightning. The Lightning are minus 330. The Blue Jackets are plus 265. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 108. Lightning minus 1.5 is minus 111. I'm going to take the juiced over at minus 115. I like this over a lot. The Lightning have been scoring a lot of goals lately, and I think Columbus could score a little bit, so going over 5.5 at minus 115. Hurricanes, Panthers. The Canes are minus 120. The Panthers are plus 102. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Hurricanes minus 1.5 is plus 195. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 240. These two teams are also playing for first in the division. And I know I've picked Florida a lot on the show as a dog, but they have not come through for me. So I'm going to go contrarian here and take the under 5.5 at minus 102. The case is that both these teams play well defensively, and I think that the goalies can play well. So I'm going under 5.5 at minus 102 and banking on this being a 3-2 game regardless. The Devils and the Penguins. The Penguins are minus 330. The Devils are plus 265. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. The Devils plus 1.5 is minus 104. The Penguins minus 1.5 is minus 115. I think the Penguins will play better than they did against the Devils and not let up a big lead. I like the over 2 at plus 104, but to be safe, I'm going to go Penguins puck line minus 1.5 at minus 115. Like I said, I think they'll bounce back in a way after nearly blowing that game to the Devils. So I'm going to go with the Penguins minus 115. Minus 1.5 at minus 115 against the Devils. The Stars and the Red Wings. The Stars are minus 198. The Red Wings are plus 166. Over under 5.5. Overs plus 118. Unders minus 144. Dallas minus 1.5 is plus 150. Detroit plus 1.5 is minus 182. This is a real tough one, but I'm going to go Stars puck line minus 1.5 at plus 150. I think that Dallas is playing a lot better. They have a playoff spot to play for. They are currently two back in Nashville in the Central Division, and they got to win this game. So I'm going to go Stars puck line against the Red Wings. 8 o'clock, the Avalanche and the Blues. The Avalanche are back tonight. They're minus 164. The Blues are plus 138. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 112. Unders minus 138. The Avs minus 1.5 is plus 168. The Blues plus 1.5 is minus 205. I'm going to go with the Blues as the home dog tonight at plus 138. That's my upset special of the day. The case for the Blues is that they are playing. They were playing well before the pause of the Avs. And I think that this could be a rusty spot for the Avs. So give me the Blues plus 138 against the Avalanche. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, the Ottawa Senators and the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks are minus 154. Ottawa's plus 130. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Ottawa plus 1.5 is minus 194. Vancouver minus 1.5 is plus 160. I'm going to go Vancouver in regulation at even money. They've been playing better since their COVID pause. They swept the Maple Leafs. And I think that Canucks in the over I like well, but let's just assume that it's Thatcher Demko in that. That's why I don't see this over, unless if it was Holtby. But Ottawa is just feast or famine offensively, and I could see this being like a 5-1, 4-1 Vancouver win. So give me Canucks even money in regulation against Ottawa. All right. Now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the games from yesterday and look ahead to a busy window for today. Diamondbacks over the Reds 5-4. The D-backs are 7-10. Cincinnati 9-7. JB Bukowskis the win. He's 1-0. Amir Garrett the loss. He's 0-1. Getting his second save of the year is Stephon Christian. Andy Young homered for the Diamondbacks. Kyle Farmer homered for the Reds. I almost said Tucker Barnhart, the catcher. Oops. Phillies over the Giants 6-5. The Phillies are 9-9. The Giants are 11-7. Hector Neris the win. He's 1-1. Wandy Peralta loss. He's 2-1. Mickey Moniak hit his first career home run yesterday. Darren Ruff for the Giants, the ex-Philly. And Bryce Harper hit a game-tying home run in the bottom of the seventh. This game ended on a walk-off single by Andrew Knapp. Marlins over the Orioles 3-0. The Marlins are 8-9. Baltimore's 8-10. Trevor Rogers the win. Bruce Zimmerman the loss. And Yimi Garcia the save. Pirates over the Tigers 3-2 in game one of the doubleheader. Pittsburgh 8-9, Detroit 6-11. Tyler Anderson the win, he's 2-2. Michael Fulmer lost, he's 1-1. Richard Rodriguez gets his second save of the season. Rockies over the Astros 6-3. The Rockies are 6-12. Houston 7-10. Austin Gomber to win, he's 1-2. Jose Urquidy the loss, he's 0-2. Yuli Gurriel homered for Houston, and Jonathan Daza homered for the Rockies. A's over the Twins 13-12 in 10 innings as Oakland has won their 11th in a row. They're 12-7 on the year. 11 in a row after starting the year 1-7. That's amazing. Minnesota 6-11 getting the win here. Delois Guerrera and the loss, Alex Colomb. Josh Donaldson, Matt Olson, Nelson Cruz, Matt Olson again, Seth Brown, Nelson Cruz again, and Byron Buxton a go-ahead shot in the top of the 10th. All homered for the Minnesota Twins. Braves over the Yankees 4-1. The Braves are 8-10. The Yanks are 6-11. Ian Anderson the win, he's 1-0. Corey Kluber the loss, he's 0-2. Austin Riley homered in the top of the 9th. For the Braves in this one. Nats over the Cardinals 1-0. Nats are 7-9. St. Louis 8-10. Max Scherzer to win. He's 1-1. Carlos Martinez lost 0-4. Brad Handley gets his third save of the year. Rangers over the Angels 7-4. The Rangers are 9-10. Angels 9-7. Getting the king for the win for the Rangers is John King, and the loss for the Angels Mike Myers, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Justin Upton, Avasael Garcia, go-ahead shot in the top of the 8th. Nate Lau homered also, and Jose Iglesias each homered in this game for their respective clubs. Brewers over the Padres 4-2 to complete the sweep. Milwaukee 11-7, San Diego 10-10. Brett Sutter the win, he's 1-1. Keone Kelo the loss, he's 2-1. Josh Hader gets his third save of the season. Omar Narvaez and Jace Peterson homered for Milwaukee. Tigers over the Pirates 5-2 in game number 2. Detroit 7-11, Pittsburgh 8-10. Stephen Turnbull the win, he's 1-0. Miguel Yajori the loss, he's 0-1. And Gregory Soto gets his second save of the season. Nico Goodrum, Jonathan Scope, and Phil Evans homered for their respective clubs. Diamondbacks over the Reds 8-5 in 10. Diamondbacks 8-10, Cincinnati 9-8. Getting the win, Taylor Clark. And the loss, Ciano Perez. Homers in this game. Josh Van Meter hit the game-tying shot for the D-backs in the top of the ninth to get this game to extras. Blue Jays over the Red Sox, 6-3. Big win for Toronto. They're 8-10. Boston 12-7. Ryan Baroki to win. He's 2-1. Garrett Richards to loss. He's 0-2. And Anthony Castro gets his first save of the season. Xander Bogaerts homer in this game for Boston, but that was the only homer in the game. Trent Thornton, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, ERA 1.86. Garrett Richards, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 6 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA an ugly 6.48. Cubs over the Mets, 16-4. Big win for the Cubs. They're 8-9. Mets are 7-6. Alec Mills to win. He's 1-0. David Peterson the loss. He's 1-2. Home runs: Francisco Lindor, Peter Alonso, and a grand slam by Javier Baez. Royals over the Rays 8-9 on a walk-off single by Salvador Perez in the bottom of the ninth. It was a game-ending single. Royals 10-7, Rays 10-9. Getting the win, Scott Barlow, and the loss, Diego Castillo, and the blown save, obviously. Brandon Lau, Hunter Dozier, Jorge Soler, Carlos Santana all homered for their respective clubs. Indians-White Sox postponed makeup date, May 31st. All right, today's window, only 8 games. At 12:30, you got the Diamondbacks and the Reds last game, and that's here. Taylor Widener and Jeff Hoffman. Both these guys have been solid this year for their respective clubs. The Reds are minus 144. The D-backs are plus 122. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 162. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 134. I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks plus 122 here. Like I said, both these guys have overachieved so far this season. But Widener's just been a little better, that's all. 1 o'clock, you have the Pirates and the Tigers. Mitch Keller and Jose Urena. The Tigers minus 132. The Pirates plus 112. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 182. Tigers minus 1.5 is plus 150. Keller was supposed to start yesterday, but he's starting today. I'm making the same pick. I'm going to say that this is a good offense for Keller to have success against. So give me the Pirates plus 112 in Detroit against the hapless Tigers. 6 o'clock, the Yankees and the Indians. Domingo Germán and Aaron Savali. Each team is minus 108. The over-under is 8. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Yanks minus 1.5 is plus 152. Indians plus 1.5 is minus 184. The Yankees look like a team that is disinterested. Aaron Boone, what's saving his job is the fact that COVID happened, or else maybe he would have been let go a year ago. Or the fact that he was bounced out of his first 2 playoffs by teams who cheated, Astros and Red Sox. So that's those 2 things in COVID is what's arguably saving his job, more so the cheaters than COVID. But this is a Yankee team that just doesn't look right. And some things just got to change. They got to shake something up. So I'm going against the Yankees until proven otherwise, unless if Garrett Cole's an underdog. If Garrett Cole's pitching this game, I'd obviously pick the Yankees, but he's not. Domingo Germán's been a disappointment so far this year. So I'm going with the Indians, minus 108 against the Yankees. Meanwhile, Savali has been awesome. 7 o'clock, you have the Mariners and the Red Sox from Fenway. 2 surprises. Justin Dunn, Nick Pivetta going for their respective teams. Red Sox are minus 178. The Mariners are plus 150. Over under 9, minus 110 each way. Mariners plus 1/2 is minus 138. The Red Sox minus 1/2 is plus 115. Both these guys have been solid this year, but I like Justin Dunn a lot better. He's more promise. And I'm going to go with the a big upset, plus 150 Seattle against the Red Sox. 7:30, the Mets and the Cubs. The Cubs going for the sweep. Joey Lucchesi and Trevor Williams, neither of these guys have been good this year. The Mets are minus 124. The Cubs are plus 106. Over under 9. Over is minus 115. Under is minus 105. Mets minus 1/2 is plus 130. Cubs plus 1/2 is minus 156. I'm going to go with the juiced over 9 at minus 115. Neither of these guys have been good so far this year. I think this is a shootout game, so it's going to be over 9 at minus 115. 8 o'clock, the Angels and the Astros. Christian Javier going for Houston and Alex Cobb going for the Angels. Javier's been great. Cobb's been okay. Astros minus 138. The Angels plus 118. Over under 8.5. Over is minus 118. Under is minus 104. Angels plus 1/2 is minus 176. The Astros minus 1/2 is plus 146. I'm going to go with the contrarian under 8.5 at minus 104. The Astros have some guys out right now, and I think that's what's hurting them offensively. Javier's been pretty good this year, and so is Alex Cobb in some metrics. So I'm going to go under 8.5 at minus 104. 9:30 or 9:45, the Marlins and the Giants. Daniel Castano and Aaron Sanchez. The Giants are minus 156. The Marlins are plus 132. Over under 8.5. Minus 110 each way. Marlins plus 1/2 is minus 162. The Giants minus 1/2 is plus 134. I'm going to go with the Marlins on the money line at plus 132, so I'm going with the underdog here. Castano, I know, is an opener. Just got a gut feeling about the Marlins. I know Anibal Sanchez has been good, but I just want to go with an upset special here with the Marlins. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, another big series. The Padres and the Dodgers. You got Walker Buehler and Ryan Weathers. The Dodgers are minus 184. The Padres are plus 154. Over under 8. Over is minus 105. Under is minus 115. The Padres plus 1/2 is minus 146. The Dodgers minus 1/2 is plus 122. Weathers has been great so far this season. Buehler's been great as well. I'm going to go with the slightly juiced under 8 at minus 115. I just think this is a low-scoring game. I don't know who wins, but I'm going to go under 8 at minus 115. Now I'm going to do my mock draft for today. This is my 6th NFL mock draft of the year. So, without further ado, here we go. Number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. As we know, this is a big slam dunk. Arguably the best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning. Number 2, the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, quarterback BYU. A lot of people think this pick is a lock, as do I at this point, because of all the people that have been flat out saying, this is Zach Wilson, this is Zach Wilson, just like Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville, same thing. 3, San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones, quarterback Alabama, obviously the pick from the Houston Texans via the Miami Dolphins. Jones and Justin Fields have been back and forth for this pick, but now I'm going to go with Jones here, although when I do a mock draft on Monday, this could very well be Justin Fields. 4, the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. The Falcons should be a team that should trade down, obviously. They have a lot of needs. Pitts would be a good fit. I think that if they trade down to 6 for Pitts or 7 and can get Pitts, 8. I think if they fall to 9, they won't be able to get him. But they should trade down. But if they keep the pick, then it's either going to be Pitts or Chase. But more likely Pitts. Because they have they need help at tight end. 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. Penny Seal, offensive tackle, Oregon. This is the correct pick for the Bengals. They need all the protection in the world for Joe Burrow after what happened last year. Number 6, the Miami Dolphins from the Philadelphia Eagles. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. This would be a tremendous pick for the Dolphins as they need a weapon for Tua Tagovailoa. And Chase is arguably the best receiver prospect since Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson. Number 7, the Detroit Lions. Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. The Lions are another team that should seriously trade down because this is a team that could very well enter a lengthy rebuild. But Smith would be a good building block for the future, and he would help them in the present and help Jared Goff. 8, the Carolina Panthers. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. The Panthers really should focus this pick on building around Sam Darnold. Waddle would be a solid weapon in the Panthers' offense with his speed and good route running. Number 9, the Denver Broncos. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. John Elway would be doing backflips if Fields fell to him at 9. If Fields goes to Denver and lives up to potential, then that's another great quarterback in that division to go with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert down the road. 10, the Dallas Cowboys. Patrick Surtain II, quarterback, Alabama. This is one of the more popular mock selections of these mock drafts. And Surtain, I think, would be a great fit in Dallas. Of course, they have a need at cornerback replacing Byron Jones, which they've yet to do. Number 11, New York Football Giants. Rayshawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern. If Slater is still on the board, this should absolutely be the pick. As enticing as Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle sound, Slater should be the guy here at 11 with his versatility as the Giants continue to fulfill their goal of helping Daniel Jones out. Number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles via the Miami Dolphins from the San Francisco 49ers. J.C. Horn, cornerback, South Carolina. Horn is somebody that I think is tremendous. Made a ton of big plays in his college career and really has, done great against SEC competition. Number 13, the Los Angeles Chargers. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. This would be a very good pick for the Dodgers, who badly need protection for Justin Herbert. Darrisaw would really make the Chargers' offensive line better. 14, Minnesota Vikings. Kwity Paye, defensive end, Michigan. The Vikings are a bit of an unknown here, but I think they should go improve one of their two lines, offense or defense, and they go with defense here and pay someone that had a good pro day, and their stock is rising because of it. 15, the New England Patriots. Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. If the Patriots stay at 15, I think they should go with the best player available. There's talks about them trading up for Lance, which I think is absurd. But if they should take up quarterback and trade up for it, especially, it's Justin Fields. Because he would make the Patriots back into a Super Bowl contender sooner than Lance. Although Lance would be a pick for the future, a la Jordan Love Packers. 16, Arizona Cardinals. Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. The Cardinals take a selection of need here with Farley as they need to replace Patrick Peterson. Farley opted out a year ago and he has injury issues which could cause him to drop. 17, Las Vegas Raiders. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame. This would be a solid pick for the Raiders as they select a position of need with Owusu-Koramoah. He will provide exactly what Gus Bradley is looking for on defense with the speed and athleticism and cover ability. 18, Miami Dolphins. Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. This would be an absolute steal for the Miami Dolphins if Parsons were to land to them here at 18. He would become the quarterback of that defense, and he has the ability to rush the passer. Number 19, the Washington Professional Football Team. Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive tackle, guard, USC. This would be a really good pick for Washington, who's still yet to replace Trent Williams on their offensive line. Vera Tucker is someone that is super versatile and can play any position. 20, Chicago Bears. Greg Newsome II, cornerback, Northwestern. The Bears have some glaring needs on their roster, and corner is one of them. Newsome is someone that will come in and start right away for the Bears due to his athleticism, size, and length, and will replace the released Kyle Fuller. 21, the Indianapolis Colts. Azeez Ojulari, defensive end, Georgia. The Colts decided to go with pass rush here with his pick and choose someone underrated in Ojulari. What makes Ojulari attractive is his versatility and his ability to do many things on the field. 22, the Tennessee Titans. Jalen Phillips, defensive end, Miami. This would be a nice pick for the Titans considering they need pass rush help even with the add of Bud Dupree. Phillips is someone that is arguably the best at his position in this draft when healthy considering his past injury history, but the latter is why I think he could be left back. 23, the New York Jets. Taven Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State. Assuming Zach Wilson is the selection at 2, the Jets need to help protect him at all costs. Jenkins is someone whose stock is rising with a week to go until the draft, and he and Mekhi Becton could be the tackles of the future for the Jets. Number 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris, running back, Alabama. Another hot rumor with the draft being a week away is that the Steelers want a running back. And Harris would make sense in theory if they are trying for one last hurrah at Ben Roethlisberger. And he would be an upgrade over James Conner. 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars from the Los Angeles Rams. Trayvon Moehrig, safety, TCU. Here I have the Jags adding to their young asset collection on defense with Moehrig. I always felt that Moehrig was overshadowed due to playing in the Big 12, and he is super athletic and would be a nice fit in the Jags' young defense. 26, the Cleveland Browns. Jamin Davis, linebacker, Kentucky. With a week to go until the draft, one of the fastest risers on the defensive side of the ball is Davis. His size and athleticism is what intrigue teams, and the Browns could use a linebacker to improve that unit. 27, the Baltimore Ravens. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. The Ravens can go in a numerous number of directions with this pick, and here I have them snagging the talented receiver in Bateman. His big playability and being a red zone threat is something that Lamar Jackson and this offense can use. 28, the New Orleans Saints. Zaven Collins, defensive end, outside linebacker, Tulsa. Collins is someone that is getting a lot of love at the back end of the first round as the draft approaches. In what is a homecoming scenario with this pick, Collins will provide the Saints solid versatility and rushes the passer very well. 29, the Green Bay Packers. Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, Florida. The Packers do what they should have done in the first round of last year's draft, take a playmaker to help Aaron Rodgers. Toney is someone that was overshadowed in Florida's offense due to the presence of Kyle Pitts, and he could become their second wideout behind Devontae Adams. 30, Buffalo Bills. Jason Oweh, defensive end, Penn State. Oweh is someone who I feel is one of the more underrated pass rushers in this draft and was overshadowed in college due to the presence of Micah Parsons. Oweh would provide much-needed youth on the Bills' pass rush. 31, Kansas City Chiefs. Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle, Alabama. The Chiefs are a team in dire need of offensive line reinforcements, and after releasing Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Leatherwood will be a great option here as he has been battle-tested in the past in college and could start right away. 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Christian Barmore, defensive tackle, Alabama. The Bucs really do not have any needs as they're bringing the band back together, trying to get 8 for the greatest quarterback of all time. I could see Barmore being the pick here for depth purposes, and the Ndamukong Suh isn't getting any younger. All right, so there you have it, the mock draft. Now I'm going to do my latest news and notes for the day. A lot of stuff has happened. News breaking not long ago that Trevor Lawrence is back throwing as he is recovering from off-season surgery on his non-throwing shoulder. The Eagles are apparently having an open quarterback competition as the head coach, Nick Sirianni, says he's played rock, paper, scissors with draft prospects to gauge their competitiveness. This can mean quarterbacks and this can mean any position. But Sirianni says that Philly will have an open competition for their quarterbacks. Trae Young was helped off the court last night after suffering an ankle injury against the Knicks. That's what helped the Knicks come back in this game, and who knows, maybe they still come back in that game. Promising rookie Denny Avdija done for the season with a hairline fracture at his ankle and no surgery expected to be done. That is a big loss for the Wizards. He's been a big help for them this year. Jaren Jackson Jr. came back against the Clippers last night, so that's good news for Memphis. Jamal Murray had surgery on his ACL, remains out indefinitely. Kevin Durant to return this weekend on Friday against the Celtics or Sunday against the Suns. Anthony Davis plans to play tonight against the Mavericks. And that's good news for the Lakers. Although they should still be an underdog if Davis plays because no LeBron. Maybe I'll bet the Mavs if the Lakers become a favorite. The NHL is targeting an October 12th start the next season as the GMs held a call yesterday to discuss potential start windows for next season. So that is a little sense and way more sense of normalcy there. The Super League is on standby after teams like Chelsea and Barcelona have dropped out. Steph Curry says, I gotta be MVP, as the Warriors star says he deserves his third MVP award. And Steph goes, I probably won't get it, but whatever. Hey, maybe if you win a couple games in a row and if Denver falls off without Murray, maybe Steph can win it. Maybe he'll prove to be right. So Sterling Brown, it comes out that he was jumped and then hit on the head with a bottle after entering the wrong van on Monday. Oof. Hopefully, Brown will be okay. The San Francisco 49ers signed Wade Gallman, the former Giants running back, so he'll help them. The NFL schedule release will come on May 12th. The schedule normally would be out by this week, but I think it's smart that they're waiting until after the draft because obviously there's a chance that Justin Fields is playing for the 49ers or another team, and that team is going to be getting primetime games. Jacksonville's going to be getting a lot of attention with Lawrence. And I think this could be similar to Zion with the Pelicans with all these national games potentially for them. So I think the draft is the reason why they're holding the schedule release back. And plus it's 17 games as well. And the league has also passed a jersey number rule as the league will reportedly loosen jersey number rules, which means that we might actually see some of these single-digit jerseys. So that's pretty cool. Anthony Santander out 2 to 4 weeks for the Orioles due to an ankle injury. That's a big loss for the Orioles. He is a good role player for them. And a big injury for the Phillies. Gene Segura to the injured list after a right quad strain while running the first base a couple nights ago. That's a big loss for the Phillies. He's a solid player. He can hit. He can play defense. So the Phillies will certainly miss him. All right, now we'll recap yesterday's episode of The Masked Singer. It was a Super 8, as I mentioned at the top of the show. We had a guest panelist, Rita Wilson. That was pretty cool. As she was guest a few times on the show, most notably The Tree in Season 2 by Ken Jeong, which wasn't bad because The Tree wound up being Anna Gasteyer. Piglet went first last night. There was Pirates, like very Pirates of the Caribbean themed, a telescope. Hints about the perfect storm happened for him to have his career. He mentions moving to Los Angeles, which is a big clue. There's a tree. Maybe there's an Anna Gasteyer clue in there. There is a foam peace sign in there. There are sunglasses in there. There's faith in there and a UFO. His performance was to The Pretender by Foo Fighters, which was a solid performance. I thought the 7 Years performance from 2 weeks ago was better. The theme of the week in terms of special clues was food order, and his was cotton candy. I think at the moment this is either AJ McLean or Kevin Richardson of the Backstreet Boys. I'm going to go with AJ here. Jay McCarthy guessed Lance Bass. Ken Jeong went Chris Pine. And Rita Wilson had a solid first guess with Nick Jonas, but a bad second guess of either Peyton or Eli Manning. That was terrible. Robopine hints about being in depression. They're baby toys, maybe as a child or has a grandkid. Block party, a shower, a Roman statue, a bike. And he performed Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. His food order was a lobster. And I'm sticking with my guts with this with Stevie Wonder. I think this is an African-American R&B singer from the 70s and 80s. And Stevie has grandkids, so I'm going to say this is Stevie Wonder. Robin went with Terry Crews. Ken Jeong went with Aaron Hall. And Nicole went with Jamie Foxx, which I doubt. Chameleon hints about meeting his goat. Hints about championships. There's 2. Money, disco, a deer photo. And the song was Regulate by Warren G featuring Nate Dogg. And his food order was fried bird and cricket cake. And a Cluedo-Doo, as we've seen in commercials or before commercials, was making appearances during the show, and he even came out on stage at one point. But this is the one where he didn't come out on stage. Cluedo-Doo hinted Golden Globe, so this person is potentially a singer or an actor. A lot of hints go towards Kyrie Irving here of the Brooklyn Nets, but I doubt it's him. His GOAT is either Kobe or Michael. He won a championship with the Cavs, who are number 2 on the Cavs. Obviously makes a lot of money. And the deer photo, obviously, he was almost traded to the Bucks a couple years ago before he got dealt to the Celtics, and that was Ken Jeong's guess. Jenny went with Machine Gun Kelly. Nicole went with Waka Flocka Flame and G-Eazy. And I'm still sticking with my guess of Ludacris. The Yeti. There's a microphone, like a DJ mic. Avalanche of success. This is someone that was successful. There are letters. There is a dog. Hints about being in a scandal. He said he was to blame for it. There's line dancing in there. There's the Happy New Year's hat. Maybe this person performed on the New Year's Eve show. And he performed Lonely by Justin Bieber. And his food order was donuts. And a lot of people are thinking O, like E-O, something O. I have 2 guesses. Drake and Neo. I was getting Drake vibes, although Neo would make sense because of the O. But I wouldn't rule out Drake here. Nicole went with Cisco and Todrick Hall. Ken Jeong had a guess of Justin Timberlake. The Russian Dolls. There were a couple cups of tea, the Statue of Liberty, made of Milwaukee, Indian Avenue, trains, New York City. And they performed 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. And their food order was jelly beans. I'm sticking with the Black Eyed Peas guess, but I don't feel good about it. I know there's a girl in there, and I'm picking on that being Fergie. Ken Jeong went with the Jonas Brothers, and Rita Wilson went with Boyz II Men, which wasn't bad. Next up, the Crab. There was hints about the Brooklyn Bridge and a talent show. Brooklyn Bridge. This is somebody that had issues with performing and anxiety and out of breath at a young age. There's a rainbow and a sun. There's a violin, a bridge, train flowers, 10 scores, and then a jack. And the song Crab performed was In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. And his food order was a marshmallow. I went with Ernie Isley here, although Nile Rodgers I thought was a good guess as well. Robin went with Ray Parker Jr., Ghostbusters. Jenny went with Bobby Brown and Flava Flav, and Nicole went with Keith Sweat. Seashell went 7th. $119, decides to open up about her life. She really didn't rehearse before taking the stage for a big time. TNT, a big clue. A Christmas tree, maybe there's ties to Anna Gasteyer. A Scout cookies box and roasted chicken. And she performed, I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. The childhood clue was stolen by Cloodle Doo. And he revealed that it was grapes before the commercial break. And Seashell said that she likes cooking fried chicken. My guess for this was Kylie Minogue. Thought about Gwen Stefani and thought about, dare I say, Madonna. And I was getting Kylie Minogue vibes because of the song she performed and the genre that Tiffany was from. Ken Jeong went with Sarah Silverman. Nicole went with Tamara Mowry. And Rita went with Scout Willis, the sister of Rumor Willis, a.k.a. the Lion from Season 1. And last but not least, the Black Swan. There are feathers, and then there's a sign that said, I'm late. There's hints about her living with a single mom. Maybe she is a single mom. But I'm going to say the former. There are elves in there, a record player, clocks, glass slipper. And she performed Use Somebody by Kings of Leon. Her order was a fish cracker. And I'm still going to go with Emily Osmond. It sounds just like her. Wouldn't rule out Fantasia either. And I'm going to go with Osmond. Rita Wilson went with Kesha. Ken Jeong went with Nelly Furtado. And Demi Lovato. And Nicole Scherzinger went with Becky G and JoJo. There were 2 unmasked last night. The first to be unmasked was the Crab. I had a terrible first impression guess, and this was on voice alone. Kanye West. Yikes. And my final guess, Ernie Isley. Robin Thicke's first impression guess, Cool from Kool and the Gang. His final, Ray Parker Jr. Nicole's first impression, a Jackson 5 member. And her final was Keith Sweat. Ken's first impression guess was Bobby Brown. His final was Bobby Brown, same for Jenny. Rita Wilson's final guess was Martin Larson. Who was it? Bobby Brown as Jenny and Nicole. Or I'm sorry, Jenny and Ken were correct. So a 2-0 lead for Kenny and Jen in terms of first impression guesses. And second to go was Seashell. My first impression guess was Kristen Chenoweth. My final guess, Kylie Minogue. Ken's first impression was Kristen Chenoweth. Final, Sarah Silverman. Nicole's first impression, Hillary Duff. her final, Tamara Mowry. Jenny's first impression, Vanessa Hudgens, and she stuck with it. Robin's first impression, Ashley Judd, his final, Haley Duff. And Rita's final was Scott Willis. And who was it? Tamara Mowry. She really hasn't been seen in a while. She said she hasn't sang in a long time. But she did really good. I thought that she could have survived another week, but the panel had other plans. So Tamara Mowry was your unmasked contestant on The Masked Singer. And last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Actually, no, I'm going to do DraftKings today just to change things up. For my best bet for today for DraftKings, I'm going to take an NBA favorite. Or I'm sorry, a dog. How is Philly 7 against Milwaukee? I'm going to quickly check to make sure that Philly Stars are playing tonight. Because if they are, Philly, I think, can win at Milwaukee. I mean, that line is a Giannis bump. Simmons questionable. And Embiid playing. Giannis questionable too. All right, I'm taking Philly for sure now. Laying a half unit with Philly. Against Milwaukee. And I'm taking a scoop of them on the money line as well. So there you have it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping today's NBA, NHL, and MLB games. Look ahead to tomorrow and the weekend's games. We'll talk Oscars tomorrow. Pick NASCAR races. We will do golf too. And obviously news and notes and my best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.